All right, we're gonna try this out here. So, going through measuring tools and knowing how accurate they are. So we know a little bit about the measuring tools we're gonna use a little bit. Let's just talk about this a little bit more. So, as a machinist, you're going to use many different types of measuring tools. The most common ones you'll probably see out there, really fast things, is tape measure. Use that sometimes. Steel rule. Those are pretty common. You've got your vernier calipers, and then you have your dial calipers, and finally your digital calipers. And this is one style here. This is a Tessa. I prefer the Mitutoyo digitals, but realistically they're all about the same. The Mitutoyo just seems to, and they can take a bruising and still keep on moving. So anyways, and then beyond all those, another tool that we haven't really talked about much at all yet is the micrometer. So the micrometer is for really, really accurate measurements. So you would think, looking at all these different tools like a tape measure, you know, is there a place for this in machining? Well, yeah, there is sometimes. A time you might use something like this would be when you have a very liberal open tolerance. You know, if you've got plus or minus 1/8 of an inch, I mean, I would use a tape measure for that, no problem. The one thing to worry about with a tape measure, just as far as measurements goes, is, you know, everybody kind of knows this. You get into your tape measure and that little tang on the end of it slides back and forth. Well, realistically, why that slides back and forth is it's meant to be used so you can use it for, you know, an external measurement and it'll actually pull out and give you an accurate reading. Or it's if you went into a shoulder of something, it'll actually compress and then it'll still give you an accurate reading of how long that is. So it's meant to slip back and forth, basically the width of how long that tang is. Now, what can happen, and it's happened to all of us probably, is at some point you're using a tape measure and it's on the table and you're working and all of a sudden, bloop, you knock it on the floor and you bend that tang. If that starts getting bent, you're losing the accuracy of your tape measure. So when it's all said and done, I would put a tape measure as far as accuracy that I would trust it to down to about 1/16 of an inch. So 1/16 of an inch would be about 62 thousandths. Below that, I would not trust a tape measure to say, hey, I can believe in the accuracy of that tool. So then you step into maybe something else. So that's your tape measure. You move on and you have something like this, which is a steel rule. Now, steel rules are accurate